Say hello to the OnePlus Pad 2. This guy right here. It is the sophomore edition of OnePlus's OnePlus Pad from last year, and they've made some quality of life improvements here. It's $549 MSRP. If you get it right now, while it's in the pre-order deal special, it's $50 off, so you can get it for $499. And if you trade in basically any tablet, or I think any device that says you can get an extra 50 bucks off. And then they've got some trade-in deals too. So, is this worth it? Maybe. If you like OnePlus stuff, for sure. If you like carrying a OnePlus phone, there's some added benefits, so like the data connect share and things like that, where it'll use your LTE or use your Wi-Fi and connect to it, so it'll use that data. That's pretty cool. Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. So this is no slouch. And this ought to make some people happy because there's no MediaTek chip this year. But yeah, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. Now, they do have an 8GB 128 model, but I believe it's only available in Europe. This is a US-based channel. I'm going to talk about the US one. 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, and that you can currently get for the $499, which I think is a pretty decent deal. Only comes in one color this year, which is this Nimbus Gray, but it looks really sharp. It's got the nice bezeled pronounced camera on the back, 13 megapixel on the back, 8 megapixel on the front, and it's got a 900 nits brightness IPS panel, which was a surprise to me. I mean, last year we had an IPS panel, it was LCD, so I wasn't too terribly concerned about it, but I thought maybe they might bump it up to an AMOLED this year. They did not. Biometrics, there's no fingerprint scanner. It does have facial recognition, which works pretty well. It's simple facial recognition, though. It's not like true facial scanning. It's not like Face ID or anything crazy like that. I wish it had a fingerprint scanner, whether it was under the screen or built into the power button. It is not. So you have a couple of options here. You can do a pin, you can do whatever, you can draw it, and then you can use the camera, so you can do facial recognition pattern. That's the word I was looking for. You can use the pin or the pattern. So that stuff's there. Bezels on it, they're there. They're not too terribly crazy, but it has a decent PPI, which is pixels per inch, just over 300. 3K screen. So they're advertising 3K. We know that 2K is what typical flagship smartphones are, which is 1440p. 1440 resolution. So this is not quite 4K, but it's a little bit higher than 2K, which is fine. I mean, you've got this 7 by 5 aspect ratio on this 12-inch screen, just over 12 inches, and that's nice. If you look over at Samsung, you start at the 11, then you got to pay extra to get the 12.9. If you look at our 12 is it 12.9? 12 something. And then if you go to the iPad, yeah, you got to pay extra money if you want to get the 12, 13-inch series tablet. So it's one of those things where it's a little bit better than the baseline with other folks, but they charge less, and then they give you some niceties. Of course, it's running the latest and greatest Android 14. I say latest and greatest. Android 15 will be here soon. I don't know how soon it will get it. It looks like, from what I was reading, it looks like 3 years of operating system updates, 4 years of security patches. OnePlus does bi-monthly security patches. I wish one day they would move to monthly. I keep saying that. Maybe one day they'll listen to me. And yeah, it's got 6 speakers on it, which is nice. It's got 67-watt Super VOOC charging. So if you've been around OnePlus for a while, you're probably familiar with the Super VOOC stuff. Clarification here. So I was really surprised when I opened my box, which is right here, and all it had was just the red cable in it. There was no charging brick. I'm like, where's my charging brick? Because OnePlus is really well known for that, especially here in the States. So the European guys, unfortunately, it looks like you're not getting a charging brick. For folks here in the US, you are getting a charging brick. And there was a statement put out with all the other stuff from OnePlus. But anyway, yeah, so if you're in the United States, you're going to get a charger. I don't know exactly how many watts. Hopefully it's 67. But if you have a 67-watt charger, it'll recharge this entire battery in less than an hour and a half. And you're probably thinking, hey, Adam, Tech Odyssey, that's a long time. Well, that's a long time for a phone. With the Super VOOC charger, you're like, how does 67-watt charging translate into an hour and a half? It's like 80, 85 minutes. But that's because it has a 9,510 milliamp battery. So this thing has a massive, massive battery in it. You can use it for a long time until the cows come home. And of course, with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, there's been improvements in processing, improvements in thermals and heat. You can play all your AAA high-end games, and it's got improvements for AI as well. It's got like 25% improvement over AI from the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, if I remember correctly. But there's some really good stuff here. And the only downside really is, well, if you don't have a OnePlus phone, you're going to miss out on some of the benefits like the data sharing and things like that. There are some AI features here that OnePlus has been rolling out over the last year. That's cool. They've got their own version of Magic Eraser, some kind of photo editing, Magic Editor type stuff. So that's cool. And then in September, from what I was reading in the little asterisk down the bottom, you're going to get some more stuff whenever it comes to smart features and things like that. So probably once Android 15 gets here, right? We're expecting new AI features with that. But overall, it's a beautiful tablet. Like, this is a really, really nice looking tablet. It's got the landscape camera on it, which has been the more popular thing the last year. Everybody's putting the selfie camera here, so that way when you're looking at the tablet, you've got it set it up with your keyboard. It makes sense to use it kind of like a webcam for your Zoom calls and your Google Meet and all that crazy stuff. And I don't have the accessories for it. I wasn't lucky enough for OnePlus to send me those, but they do have a keyboard. It uses the pogo pins on the bottom. That's pretty standard, just like last year. So you've got a keyboard, which, if I remember correctly from last year, the keyboard was pretty nice. And then you've got the stylo, which is their version of the stylus, and you can use that as well. The one I had last year was also pretty nice. So if you want to go all in whenever it comes to OnePlus and this tablet, there's a lot of things they have there to offer. Again, Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, 12 gigabytes of RAM, beautiful screen. I have been really surprised. So yeah, it is an IPS LCD panel, 900 nits brightness, Dolby Vision, HDR10 Plus, all that stuff. Got the game boost and all those great things. That stuff's cool, but yeah, it looks nice. I was really surprised. I was hoping for an OLED. I'm so used to OLED, but for a IPS panel, it actually looks pretty darn good. It's nice with content. The only way it's really going to suffer a lot of that is the higher contrast settings or the more pure darks when it comes to representing blacks and shadows on the screen. But hey, Apple, it took them like 14 years to get an AMOLED screen. So I'm not going to hate on them too much. It's a 144 hertz panel though. So 144 hertz refresh rate on the tablet. However, I think it's mostly going to top out for most things for 120. There was an asterisk. I was reading, I have like a reviewer guide and all this stuff that they sent out. So I was reading the fine print, and it says whitelisted apps will only do 144 hertz. I don't know what the whitelisted apps are. I don't know what's going to be whitelisted. So it'll throttle down to 30 hertz, maximum up to 144 hertz. So it has a variable refresh rate panel, which is good. That helps save battery, and it cranks it up so it's nice and smooth. OnePlus is basically the originator when it comes to higher refresh rates, because even back starting with the OnePlus 7 Pro is when we first got the 90 hertz refresh rate. So you should have 120 on here pretty much all the time whenever you want it. You can adjust stuff in the settings, 3K resolution, all that nice stuff. So it is a really nice panel, but it's not getting 2000 nits brightness, 3000 nits brightness. It's not an AMOLED. It's not a constant 144 hertz. So there is that stuff, but for what you do get, I have really enjoyed it. It's even got good multitasking. OnePlus does 3 active apps on the screen at once. So you can have 3 active apps, like one big one, or you have 2 split, or you have one big one and 2 smaller ones on the side. So you can do up to 3 apps multitasking. And I think they've done a good job with this tablet, especially for the price point. It comes in much cheaper than the Pro tablets. It comes in much cheaper than a lot of the other Samsung tablets too. So when you take a look at it, $549 MSRP, you can get it for $499 with the pre-order special. And again, you can trade stuff in, get it cheaper, and they have the $50 for any device through OnePlus.com. Of course, they have other deals on their keyboards and their pencil, their stylos. So overall, I like it. I think they've done some good things with it. It's a nice refresh. It's a nice kind of update on last year's tablet. I think they did kind of pare down a little bit, just one color and none of the other crazy stuff. But overall, if you're a OnePlus fan, then you're probably really going to like this tablet. If you just want an Android tablet, you don't want to pay the price tag of entry for a Samsung tablet, this is a great option, especially at $499, which is its current price. So overall, I think they did a good job. I like it. I've been enjoying using it. I wish I had the keyboard and the stylus to go with it. That would be nice. Also, there's no LTE option, and there's no IP certification. So those are the only 2 real things that I want to throw out there. I wish it had an IP certification. Sadly, it does not, but it does have 6 speakers, and the sound on here is actually really good too. So there's that. So that's all I got in my video on the OnePlus Pad 2. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you like the OnePlus stuff, again, you're probably really going to like this. It's nice, it's smooth, it's fast, it's good for gaming, it's good for multitasking, and OnePlus has come a long way in just 2 short years of making some tablets. So that's all I got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and a little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.